Hi, class. We are on the final chapter, chapter 10 of the fifth Magic Treehouse book called Night of the Ninjas by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 10 is called Night, Peanut. So I have two questions I want you to be thinking about while we read this chapter, this final chapter of this book. So Annie is going to be making a bed for the mouse named Peanut. So be ready to tell me, what does she use to make Peanut's bed? And as Jack and Annie go home, they act like something. What are they acting like on their way home? So this is chapter 10. Night, Peanut. Jack opened his eyes. Then he opened his fist. He stared at the moonstone in his hand. It was clear and smooth. It almost seemed to glow. "We're home," said Annie. Squeak! Annie and the mouse were looking out the window. Jack looked at them. The sun was setting in the distance. No time at all had passed in Frog Creek. They heard their neighbor's dog, Henry, bark. They heard crickets chirping. In the distance, they could see their dad step out of their house. He stood on their porch. "Jack! Annie!" he called. "Time for dinner." "Coming!" Annie shouted. Jack sat back on his heels. He looked at the moonstone again. "I guess we have one of the four things," he said. "We'll look for the other three tomorrow," Annie said. Jack nodded. They had a lot more work to do. He put the moonstone in his pocket. He pulled on his pack. "Ready?" he said. "Wait," said Annie. She took off one of her sneakers. She pulled off her sock. Then she put her sneaker back on. "What are you doing?" said Jack. "I'm making a bed," she said. "A what?" "Bed, you know, for Peanut to sleep in." Annie picked up the mouse. She tucked it inside her sock. "Night, Peanut," she said softly. Squeak. "Oh, brother," said Jack. Annie held the mouse close to Jack. "Kiss it goodnight, Jack," she said. "Don't be silly," he said. "Let's go." "Thanks for helping us," Annie said to the mouse. There's a good illustration right here. Was that the end? Nope, there's more. She put Peanut gently down on the glowing M. She pulled Morgan's message out of her pouch and put it next to the mouse. "See you tomorrow," she said. Then she started down the ladder. She stared at the mouse. It looked back at him. Jack stared at the mouse. It looked back at him. For a moment, its dark eyes looked old and wise. "Come on, Jack," called Annie. Jack kissed its tiny head. "Night-night, Peanut," he whispered. Then Jack headed down the rope ladder. It got darker and darker as he went down. By the time he stepped onto the ground, it was almost completely black. "Where are you?" said Jack. "Here," said Annie. Her hand bumped his. He took it. "Careful," he said. "Careful yourself," she said. Together they took off through the cool, dark woods. They moved silently and swiftly, two shadow warriors returning home. And that's the end of the book. Okay, so what did they use to make a bed for the mouse, and what were they acting like on their way home there? What were they pretending to be as they went home in the night? I enjoyed this book with you all. I can't wait to go on and chat to book number 6 next, but let's discuss this book.